Hey guys, thanks for joining. We're just going to give it a moment or two to let other people jump on board, and then we'll get underway. But it's good to have you all here.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep, Johnny, hear you loud and clear.
Okay, just making sure because Twitter sometimes doesn't like me.
Yeah, no, Twitter often doesn't like me.
It's like every time I go into space, I need to update Twitter.
But guys, as you may know, today it's not an AMA full of announcements and surprises. It's more of a community building exercise where you can ask any questions you want of us, and we will answer them openly, transparently, and honestly. So we just hang on. I think, Johnny, if you agree for another moment, and then see if anyone else jumps on board before we make a start, and then anyone we can open up the floor to anyone who has or wants to ask us any questions.
Yeah, maybe I can just talk a little bit about this community oversight uh, position
Yeah,
just
that'd
while
be
we're
great.
waiting,
Sure.
since it's being recorded anyway. Um, what our plans are to do for the community is just bring awareness to the Luna Classic community and to other blockchains and get them on board as well, like we've been doing since launch. We're basically a no drama, no bullshit project. We just want to bring factual information from the L1 team from those meetings and answer the questions that the community has. And a lot of people have said over time that when they listen to Zardar and the tech guys speak, they don't understand because it's spoken in technical terms. So we kind of dumb it down and explain to those that don't know so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, I mean that's important. I mean, as you say, I mean the transparency that we want to show the community. I mean, as everyone's seen, I mean we've been completely open from day one, and there's nothing to hide. And there's
Yeah, and a
been a
lot of
lot of FUD
people,
today, which is disappointing. But this isn't
well,
something we're worried about. We've overcome it before, and we'll overcome it again.
yeah, a lot of people focus on the fact that we launched on the Binance Smart Chain. And I mean, realistically, think back till middle last year, who was going to launch on the Terra Classic chain? Even now, like there's too many upgrades needed to be done. And for that matter, like majority of Luna Classic being traded is being done on the Binance Smart Chain. So by launching there, um, we've educated so many people and taught people how to take their Luna Classic wormhole from Binance and bridge it over to the Terra Classic chain, providing more liquidity on chain by bringing those tokens over, teaching people how to delegate and stake their coins, providing more stability for the token. I mean, that's all important. Like the blockchain is for everyone, and by combining all these chains and the uses from every chain and making it work all together is key for the success of any blockchain. So to judge us because we started there. We started there for a reason because it's a stable chain. It has high volume. Majority of Luna Classic was being traded there, and we've brought over a lot of investors onto the actual Terra chain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, as you all know. I mean, an enormous amount has been achieved in such a short time. I mean, it's 6 months now. We're still babies, and so much has happened in that short time. Thanks to you guys, thanks to the community who've supported us from day one, and we will, as a thank you, continue to support you and continue to add utility to this product and make this a great success.
Yeah, like we don't have a token yet on Terra Classic chain, but we are on chain. We have a validator that's on chain. We have an NFT collection for Exodus, our universe metaverse, and that's on Miata on chain. So we're constantly doing things on chain. It's our native token isn't there yet, and that will be in the future. Just waiting for some layer one upgrades instead of doing a migration later.
Would anyone like to ask a question? Does anyone have anything on their mind that they'd like to ask? Trev is very, very quiet today, which is a little worrying.
Yeah, if you have any questions and you don't speak, you can also message us.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask in the Telegram, or you can ask on Twitter, or on where else? TikTok, probably you can ask questions. I don't know. I'm not a TikTok user, but yeah, I mean, there are so many different platforms where you can find us on YouTube, of course, thanks to Crypto Queen.
Yeah, everybody seems quiet.
Yeah.
Well, we can address some of the FUD, I guess. Like there's been statements that the team or the private sellers have dumped their Lunatics tokens. That isn't true, and that can be checked on the blockchain. That 20% still there. We have 30% staked from satisfied investors. So the FUD is always from outside. It's not from within our community or upset investors. It's always people trying to attack us because the people in our community, they know what we're doing. Yes, people invest for profit, and our community has taken profit. They have also secured long-term investment, and we keep building.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
burns too. Like we haven't burnt as much as we did in the beginning. Our volume has been lower, but we've dedicated our commission burns, and while we're only at 0.4% delegations, so commissions are very small, we're operating purely in loss on the validator side, but that was our dedication to the chain as well. And yeah, I don't know why people consistently try to FUD, but since we've been nominated, it's gotten worse, and it's always by the same individuals.
yeah, I mean, it's just down to fear and jealousy. I think people who've seen what a success has been made of this project are trying to spread these malicious rumors, which are completely unfounded, and it's an absolute nonsense.
Yeah, up until today, any one of those nominated people for the community oversight position, I would have said we're a good fit. But there's one now that just seems to instigate drama, and I don't think the Luna Classic community needs any more drama. It's had enough.
There's
Um,
more than enough here.
be, besides us, there's two others that I would consider myself if I wasn't involved in Lunatics. But so there's good people to choose from. So it's no hard feelings whether we get the position or not. It's just,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so long as there's stability within the LUNC community, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I hope the community chooses someone that they see doesn't promote drama and misinformation, because that is not what Luna needs. We've had so much of that over the last 6 months, and it's just held the chain back. So it's time to pick someone that works with the community and wants it to succeed.
Which we all do.
We sure do.
All right, Sega,
Yeah.
how you doing, mate?
We're good. How's everyone?
Somebody woke up from the dead.
No, I've been listening in. I was trying to get on. I couldn't actually get on the main for some reason. Technical difficulties. So had to switch accounts. How is everyone?
Perfect, thanks, mate. And you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Can't complain.
Good. You can't, but I'm sure you will at some point.
No one wants to listen anyway.
Well, that's true.
What did I miss today? I was just caught the end of that. Who's stirring the?
Yeah,
the
there were a couple of tweets that went out about us, which weren't particularly positive, but I think we responded to them politely.
Do you want me to deal with them?
Yeah, I mean, they were invited to join us on the AMA today, but the chances of them turning up
They never do.
are minimal. So that's a waste of time. But the team responded, and yeah, we'll see.
Fair enough.
So hopefully the FUD has ended. Because
I don't want to call out names and start drama here, but not only the person that started the fudding, there is someone behind the scenes that instigates it, and it's a long-term LUNC community member, but it's just a personal vendetta, I think. So that's over with anyways. But I think somebody wants to actually talk. Looks like Chris has his hand up.
So I'm pretty new to this whole thing, so I was hoping that somebody could explain to me the mechanics of that whole repeg proposal on how that would actually work, and if it would burn LUNC, how much it would burn, and how would it burn it, and how would everything just kind of work together, the mechanics of it. I could tear apart an engine and see how each piece works with the other, but as far as blockchain, I'm still trying to figure this out. So I was hoping that somebody could explain that to me, please.
Well, even I have a hard time understanding the mechanics of it too. And I was in a space earlier with Rap D-Day Duncan that came up with the proposal. It's all speculated projections on how it works, but what it does is the exchanges need to run validators, from what I understand, and have their it's kind of like price manipulation, arbitraging, but I'm guessing it's to slowly peg, not instant peg. It's to kind of push the price of USDC up. It's difficult for me to explain that. I understand the concept and that it is a good idea. I think it's a pretty solid proposal. The only problem I had with it was the fact that exchanges need to adopt it. They need to decide if they're going to do it, because they got to run from what I understand, a validator and their price feed in the Oracle. From what I talked to Duncan earlier today, has changed my opinion a little bit on it, because it's a different swap mechanism that was already passed earlier last year through when TR was talking about it, and this is just a modification to that swap. And he has spoken also with Ed about talking with Binance and stuff like that about onboarding. So it's only a text proposal now. Nothing, even if it's voted in, nothing will happen until all the technical stuff gets worked out, and also agreement with the exchanges. So the best person to ask for exact technical breakdown, if you don't understand after reading the Agora, is Duncan. And he said in the space he's free to take DMs on it, and there'll be more spaces involving discussion on it as well.
Just to clarify, that
Thank you very
Duncan
much.
isn't me for technical questions.
No, that's Rap D-Day.
Yeah.
Definitely not Duncan.
No, definitely not me.
Yeah, when I came into the space, I saw the name Duncan, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll be able to ask him directly." And
You
then I
know,
looked at your profile. I was like,
yeah,
"Okay, well, this isn't the same Duncan." Okay.
this is the wrong Duncan to ask.
Yeah, and I don't want to give misinformation about his proposal because it is very technical. There is some explanation in the Agora, but it would be best to ask him directly. Or that matter, if you're ever on a space with Zardar, he would understand it on the technical aspect. But the concept of the proposal is actually good. It's just so dependent on the exchanges. That's why I was hesitant with it. But since it is just a text proposal, there really isn't any harm voting for a good proposal. And then if they can work out the technical details and the agreement with the exchanges, then it can go further and it would be voted on again for different parts of it.
So basically, this just says, "Hey, do y'all want to repeg? If so, vote yes. If not, vote no." That's
That's
basically
right.
what the proposal is.
It's basically asking community, are you in agreement with something like this style of repeg? And if so, and you vote yes, then we'll continue working towards it, because it is going to take time. It's not something you can just do overnight. So it's giving them basically the okay to say, yes, work on this, we are for it, instead of them working on it for 6 months and then it's voted no and it was a waste of time.
Okay, am I free to talk?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, to my own best suggestion, I will be suggesting to Duncan himself is if there could be a layman's explanation, because I've taken my time in rigorous times to undergo the Agora proposal, and the technicality is too high. If he can be able to do maybe like a breakdown or a video coverage or something and post it on YouTube and paste the link on Twitter so that people can be able to go through the link and have a layman's explanation concerning the repeg um, theory, because by so doing, it will enable people vote yes towards the proposal. Because as I'm kindly speaking to us right now, virtually almost everybody in the Lunar Classic Telegram community are all in one vote, with voting as against no to a repeg on the UST. So if people are easily explained on how the repeg mechanism is going to really take place, it will give people the hint that yes, this particular repeg is for a good and not for a chaos like the former old UST.
Yeah, our Duncan isn't the one who created the proposal. That's Rap D-Day that did. Hopefully, I think that was suggested in an earlier space today, and there was actually a lot of breakdown of it, simplified version of it. So that space may be good to listen to for you. It's hard to explain, but it's like market making, pushing the price and slowly repegging. I don't know. It's very hard to explain. I hope they do actually do a video that breaks it down simply, but there is not one yet. Maybe DJ Trev wants to do that.
Okay, that's basic. That's basically fine. That's basically fine to my own perspective. Are you listening?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. That's basically fine to my own perspective. But For Lunar Classic to basically hit its peak, we need a repeg on the USTC, no doubt about it. And I'm not a developer, and I know nothing about coding and the rest, but I know vividly well that when it comes to this code scripting on the USTC, there was a code mechanism on the mint and bond, to be precise. And
Yeah.
to my own suggestion, I was of the opinion initially when we agreed on coming up with the USTN, creating a new different algorithmic stablecoin until different proposals on a different approach for the repeg came in. But am just throwing as a own suggestion. Could there not be any single mechanism on also considering on the reverse split, reverse split mechanism, because it also happens when it comes to stock. But now we can do a test run because we saw the 1.2% tax bond mechanism, but we were so fast and too fast in the approach of changing it in the reduction. Now, to my own suggestion, why don't we try also a reverse split mechanism whereby we can do a mechanism of 10 is to 1 just to enable people cancel just 1 0, which simply means 10 10 Lunar Classic, or once the reverse split mechanism comes into play, the 10 Lunar Classic coin turns to 1. So each 10 you have is 1 coin. Each 10 you have is 1 coin. By so doing, it would boost the community's faith that yes, we're trying all sorts of mechanisms to making sure we revitalize the Lunar Classic token and its blockchain. Then this would also attract other people, other investors, other angel investors, whales coming into the project to also invest to assist us. What do you guys think?
Well, I know what reverse split is in stock, and what it does is devaluation. It usually happens when a company is facing being delisted from the exchange because their trade value, so they reverse split, and that has no benefit at all to the investors. Like, you still, if you have $100 worth of LUNC, it's still worth only $100. You just have less of it. The key for this chain's use case and bringing in more investors, the supply really doesn't matter to them for using the chain, because it's for us. We want, obviously, the supply to decrease and then the price per coin goes up. They need USTC repeg. We need to have that pegged again or functioning properly, because that's how a lot of the transactions and stuff were done beforehand, and how it was used as a payment system in the real world. So by repegging this proposal too, like, if you don't understand the technical side of it, it's basically asking, are you for a gradual repeg? And it's yes or no, like, and it will happen over time. And when it repegs, then it will be able to burn off the supply of LUNC, because it can do that without minting and burning. So a reverse split, to me, would be a just kind of pointless thing. It would be just a mentality thing, saying, oh, we're at 6.5 trillion LUNC, we reverse split and we're at 6 billion LUNC, but you still have the same value. You're still at the same $1 billion market cap, so the coins aren't worth any more. So it would just be an appearance thing. I mean, it can be done if that makes people happy, but I don't think the community would go for it by saying, okay, now you have 1 million LUNC, but now after reverse split, you have 100.
You're right. Like what you've just said, because everyone is into the everyone is into the investments in the aspect of getting rich overnight, no doubt about it. So if the mechanism of changing of the code that is already on the USTC, on the mint and bond, would be changed, because my own specific fear is the ability for the repeg not to ever mint. So if that code is taken off already, which I know we have already voted already in the past concerning removal of the minting mechanism, if because any surge that happens and there is a single mint, it will discourage the community completely. So this is now my own question now is, like you rightfully said, of course, the repegging of the algorithmic stablecoin would burn faster and lots more of the LUNC than our manual efforts on burning. Now, my question is, what could be the duration and how fast can the mechanism burn?
Well, that would be time would only tell. It's also dependent on volume, right? As the repeg, this proposal is a soft repeg, so it's happening gradually, and which is better actually, because if it repegged instantly, everybody would sell everything they have, and it would be right back to nothing. So it's a gradual thing. I think it would take well over a year, and like people just got to come to the reality that this is a long-term investment, and it's a good place to invest at this point, and it's going to take time. The minting and burning, I know people don't like to hear that, but with the stable coin, to maintain a peg, it would have to mint and burn. But there was adjustments made to the code so it cannot be manipulated. That was the problem in the first part, is like too much could be sold at once and from different IBCs, different channels, and it causing the depeg. So I think mint and burn function will still be a part of chains. Like I believe other stable coins have that same feature because they have to maintain the dollar by doing that.
Okay. Wow.
I know
This is
nobody wants to hear the mint and burn, but it is part of functions. Even with bridging, for bridging from one chain to the other is done by a mint and burn function. That's just the way it works, but it has to be done right. And there was a flaw with the original USTC design, and Duquan was made aware of it and shrugged it off like, oh, it can't happen and stuff. But obviously it did happen, and now we have to fix it.
okay. Now, this is my question. If because it's very crystal clear that USTC has some problems on its coding. Now, this is my question. That was what brought the suggestion of creating a new algorithmic stablecoin of USTN as at earlier. Now, my question was, the USTN that was suggested as a then, was it also going to have the same mechanism of mint and burn?
Yes, it was going to use minting and burning. That mechanism isn't a flawed system. Minting and burning is in many chains and many stable coins, but it was designed differently. Like that was actually a pretty good proposal, actually, and a pretty good setup. But there was other issues at the time with that, and I think it's because people felt they were being left out financially, like it was absorbing the USTC debt. That is what the problem is. We have to buy back that debt over time to create the repeg. So minting and burning, like people that don't understand blockchain technology and token technology and stuff, they have to do more research in that, because it's not a bad thing if it's set up right. It isn't designed for specific cases. But what happened here was a complete manipulation, and that's what needs to look at, how to prevent the manipulation. Once they can prevent that, then the features are not an issue.
Okay, this is my own analysis. I've taken my time to analyze a couple of things in the aspect of how we can get our feedback of putting USTC to $1 and making its market cap more reasonably enough. Now, this is my question, because automatically, if we are to get Lunar Classic to where it used to be, and in the aspect of repeg, it simply means we need to do every possibility to get in USTC to $1 for it to be repegged. Now, this is my question. As you people are the co-coordinators and pioneers for this movement of reviving the blockchain, have you guys actually thought about, because USTC owes 9 billion US dollars, if I'm right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
9 billion US dollars, which simply means for us to get the 9 billion dollars, it simply means is to virtually buy almost all the token and bond. Now, this is my question. Even EDK and every person's involved in this movement, why don't you people make a proposal to Binance, precisely since CZ has made it much more easier for developers or people that need loan to revitalize the blockchain? Why don't CZ loan we, the community? We all agree, all the holders of the USTC all agree with Binance. Binance sets a price tag of at how much they are ready to buy all the USTC. Are you getting my point? At how
Yeah,
much they are ready to buy all the USTC. By so doing, it would then automatically be USTC should be in charge, Binance should be in charge of USTC, in the sense that Binance can be able to keep 1 billion of the USTC token and burn 8 billion of the USTC token, so that it can easily enable the USTC to get back to $1. Now, why they kept 1 billion of the token, it would enable Binance to recover back their funds at which they used in assisting the community, because they bought at a very cheaper rate. Because when I did my analysis, it would take about $250 million to 250 million to $350 million to buy back all the whole USDC token. So now, by so doing, this would take us to a higher edge and a higher ground. What do you think?
well, in theory, that sounds good, but why would people want to sell their USDC at current price to Binance, knowing it will be $1? And then there's the other thing is, why would the community, which is focused on decentralization, ever want to give Binance 100% control over our stablecoin? And then there's the third option. Why would Binance want to be in control of a stable coin? Because a stable coin means it's a security, and there's laws, there's regulations, and they would have to adhere to that and apply for those licenses as well. See, right now, Binance doesn't have a stable coin. BUSD is not owned by Binance, so they're not legally attached to it. To get involved with owning a stable coin is a huge legal thing. Like, there's so much regulation around that. And that is why I don't think they would ever consider it. And for the fact is, all those 9 billion or whatever, 8 billion or USDC holders aren't going to want to sell it for that price.
Okay.
See, that's the problem. Like, yeah, they could do this. Any entity could do this. Offer $400 million, you send your tokens in, we give you money, and that's it. We own it all. But the community is not going to accept that kind of centralization. They have
Okay,
a hard enough.
let me explain something to you. Recently I got a kind of wrecked in a project I just invested in, which is the FCD. FCD, and the moment I invested $1,000, I slept and woke up the next morning and noticed that KuCoin had delisted the token. So I started making investigations. I contacted KuCoin. We spoke at length. They told me I should contact the developers of this project, which I did. And by so doing, fortunately enough, on the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, the developers of this project then posted a publication that all tokens had already been reset to at a buy amount, which they were buying at 0.0026. Now, at when I bought this token, I bought it at 0.006. So automatically, what they now did was they fixed up what do they call it? An address, a wallet address. I don't know how they did the coding. Now they said everybody that bought at the secondary market, not on the pre-sale market, which is the primary market, which is all of us as traders, that we should send our tokens to that particular. You must be in a non-closure wallet, that is Trust Wallet and MetaMask and the rest. Then you should also have a Polygon Matic coin to pay for the gas fee, because it was built on the Polygon blockchain ecosystem. So now I sent my token to that particular wallet address. Under 1 second, I received my payments in USDC, to be precise. It was clear, USDC, to be precise. Now, it made everything lot easier. Are you getting my point? You guys, as it stands now, you guys are the leaders of our community for revitalizing and reviving this blockchain, which simply means you guys can actually strike a deal with either Binance, or looking at the big whales, or looking at the big fat cows, those that have the billions to spend, and come up with a solution. If it is not at USDC, USTC, then you guys can actually go on a parallel with any of these big fat cows, proposing to them, if that's the case, let the community loan. We can get a loan from either Binance, or we can get a loan from either one of the big fat angel investors. Let it be, it's going to be a proposal. We get a loan. If our target is $300 million, we get a loan from Binance at $300 million. And the community buys the token and bond. Then we know vividly well that no one has a monopoly on the stable coin. And we repair. It takes us to the moon.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just it would be a matter of trying to get everybody on board with that. I mean, you can very well write a proposal and see how the community feels about it. Right now, I don't think it's practical, and I don't think anybody's going to give us any loans until our chain is secure and upgraded. So I think the real focus in the short term this year should be providing support to the L1 team, getting the chain upgraded and on parity with the rest of Cosmos, so we can become a useful chain. Right now, the chain is old. It needs updating, and no angel investor is going to dump hundreds of millions of dollars into something that has no future until it's upgraded. So that's where the focus should be. I do understand what you're saying in that, and that's a good topic for another time. But if you want to go ahead with a proposal like that and see how the community feels, you're welcome to do it. Everyone can do that on Agora. Maybe it would be a good idea to post an Agora post and have a discussion there and get the feel from the entire community and see how it is.
Okay, that's fine.
That would be really good.
Are we also allowed to talk about Lunatic Token here?
Sure.
Okay. I posted a process on a suggestion on how we can be able to revive the Lunatics token. But before that, I want to ask a question. Number one question is, who really owns this Lunatic token?
It's a team that developed it and created it. So it's a group of 12 people. I mean, it's run by a team, but the community's input is always taken into consideration. So the team is fully doxed. They're on the website, so you can check that out. It's not one individual owner.
Okay. Now, secondly, before I go into the main suggestion, secondly, I bought the Lunatic token at its all-time high, 0.001, thereabout. And I have over 1 million plus of the token, which I know that was clearly specific. Once you have up to 500,000 and above, that you will be earning a reward of Luna Classic tokens. Ever since, I have not gotten any single reward. I just complained on the Telegram group. They sent me a link for me to check my stakes, which I did. And even to my greatest surprise, um, I was shocked with what I even saw. I have not received a single reward or thereabout and all that. What could really be the cause?
Okay, where did you buy your token? On a DEX or on exchange?
On a DEX, I bought it.
Okay, so when you went to that site, the details site, because we have a DApp there, and you can put your wallet address in, and it will tell you how much LUNC you've earned.
What I saw when they sent it to me now, I had to put my address, and it was telling me holders until processed 1017, pending LUNC 106, total LUNC received 1,456.
Okay, so you have received 1,456, and after another 1,000 holders have been processed, which it's all dependent on volume time, you will get that pending LUNC. So if you have not seen that in your wallet, that means you do not have the contract address added for Wormhole Luna Classic, which is the Binance contract for it. And we have that contract address in our Telegram, and you can add that to your wallet, and you should see that. So you've earned 1,400 and some LUNC, and you have a pending of 100 and some LUNC after those 1,000 holders are processed. If you make a small buy or sell, it will automatically trigger sending it to you. Otherwise, the contract is fully automatic. We do not touch that, and it will distribute it once it gets down to zero. So if you check it tomorrow, it will probably have a different holder until processed. So that's the way. If you don't want to wait for the contract, waits till it has a certain amount to make it worth sending out to everyone. Otherwise, it would just be constantly wasting gas fees.
Okay. Now I get. All right.
Yeah.
Now this is my main suggestion concerning the Lunatics token. One, Lunatics token has much more potentials of skyrocketing high if we have the ability of being listed in Robinhood, Coinbase, KuCoin, and Binance. This four secs. That is KuCoin, Binance, Coinbase, and Robinhood. That is number one. Number two, the same mechanism we tried in burn at least $10 for the Luna Classic. Why don't we also implement the same mechanisms for Lunatics token? Because Lunatics token has more ability to skyrocket fast because of its total supply. Now, if each of the holders of Lunatics token decides as a community, let us burn at least, we fix up the date, We can do it twice a month, or we can do it once a month. We fix a date and we fix a time. Everyone has the ability to buy $10 or send from their existing um, tokens that they have into a dead wallet that will be provided by the developers as a team. Now, which simply means we must be able to vet and be very sure that the bond address wallet that is being provided is not an individual wallet address. So let it not be people are just sending one person or the team money just to enrich themselves. So now, by so doing, you people as a team comes up with a reward package. Let's say maybe it could be like a raffle draw. If we're able to get um, how many persons, how many bonds in a month or in this particular day, there will be something like a raffle draw ticket that would run, and a winner will be given a gift of. It depends on what you people. By so doing, this would enable us to skyrocket this project much more faster.
Yeah, just be patient. We do have things coming. I understand what you're talking about, but also to let you know, let's say you buy 100,000 Lunatics token, 1% of that is burnt. So 1% of every transaction is burnt. So if you buy 100,000, 1,000 is burnt. You buy 1,000,000, 10,000 is burnt, so on. So we are deflationary that way. We are down to 87
Hello,
point
can you hear me?
some billion tokens.
Can you
You
hear me?
suggesting the community burning? Yeah,
Can you
can you
hear me?
hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, 1%, 1% is born, no doubt. No doubt about it. We are interested in, no matter how many bonds are involved, all we are just interested is in getting a fixed target. As a team, you people should say, okay, fine. Our target point is to get Lunatics token to maybe 10 billion as a total supply. That might be the target. So which simply means even 1% that has been drawn on the code on its own from every buy you buy, we still don't care. We still want more bonds to take place.
Well, that's the thing. Like for our ecosystem, we can't burn like today, if as a team we can't go and buy 50% and burn it. That would be ridiculous for us because the price spike would be too high and everyone would sell and there would be nothing left. Our ecosystem will be deflationary and it is burning up to like what you're suggesting, the community sending burns, that would be a community initiative. If the community wants to take that on, that is up to them. If they want to burn their own tokens, we cannot tell people to burn their own tokens. The dead wallet is provided on BSE scan. You'll see the dead wallet's our top holder. It has 12% of the supply. That's a dead wallet. Nobody can access it. It starts with 0x and then 000 dead. And that's up to the community to burn their own tokens. But right now, we're only 6 months old. We have burnt almost 13% of our supply. And our future utilities are driving volume and that, which will burn even more. So I understand about the burning and the price goes up, but burning to inflate price with no utility kills a project. So it has to be done strategically. And I mean, you guys have only been here 6 months. Give it some time and you'll see the difference. As for the
Okay.
exchanges are in talks. Okay, Binance though, Coinbase and Robinhood, those are not just exchanges you say, hey, list us please, we'll pay you. No, they are a lot different. Once we're bigger, more holders, they will start to look at us. KuCoin will be a possibility this year, and if it's a good fit, but it still is going to come down to increasing our holders and volume, and that's why we're building our utilities. So if people just kind of give it some time and wait for those utilities to come out, they'll see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, patience is what we need here, and things will be achieved. But Augustine, thanks for your questions. They're much appreciated.
Yeah,
Okay,
is there anyone else that has more questions
I think
to give the floor?
DJ Trev wanted to ask something, I believe. I know he's busy at the moment working, but yeah, maybe he doesn't have so much time now. I know he's yeah, perhaps not. Does anyone else have any questions? Well, I don't know what Steve is laughing at.
Well done, Johnny.
Well, I'm glad he's passionate about the project, and
No,
at least he gets
no,
conversation.
there were some good questions there. Like, it was definitely.
Yeah, I just had to ask most of the questions I need to ask because I know vividly well that each and every one of us wants the revitalization of the project to come up as fast as possible. But the most unfortunate aspect of it is they get rich quick syndrome of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irrespective of I know vividly well that what is currently happening in the Bitcoin price is a bull trap at this point, because the bulls are actually trapping early retail investors. No doubt about it. But I know vividly well that we have started a bull cycle. We're just in the beginning of the bull cycle. So we're just trying as much as possible to scramble out all our thoughts to making sure everything comes into play and into a success.
Yeah, and everything will come into play. It's just a waiting game now. I mean, this is going to be a huge. I mean, it's already a huge success, but it's going to become an even greater success in time. We just need to hold tight and go with the flow.
Yeah, of course.
Trev, do you have a question? I added Trev as a speaker, but I know he's unbelievably busy. He's not unbelievably busy.
Oh,
I
am extremely busy.
Yeah, you always are. It's windy as well where you are.
I just sent Duncan a picture of this big trench that I just dug. Yeah,
I thought it was a grave.
Well, it could be. It might be that at the end of the day. Yeah, guys. I'm very sorry that I haven't been able to kind of chime in very much because I'm in the middle of putting in this French drain, having some water problems and whatever. Nothing anybody cares about but me. I just wanted to say earlier I was listening. Somebody said something about possibly Duncan breaking down that proposal in a more user friendly way, right? I can tell you that TMM, the Millennial Market, did his best he just did a video, I think maybe last night, maybe this morning, did his best to simplify it as much as he possibly could. So, anybody that wants to, you can go and watch that, but I'll warn you right now, there is no way to really just dumb this down to the point where, well, I don't know if there's no way, but it's very tough to do. It's still technical, even his explanation, but at least he goes step by step and tries to walk you through it. It's the best that I've seen out there so far to try to explain it. So, there's an option for anybody who's looking for a little more clarity.
Where can we find that, Trev?
The Millennial
That's
Market.
on your channel.
TMM,
oh, okay.
No, TMM, the Millennial Market. He's also one of the candidates for the COC position. If you go to his channel, it's all one word: the Millennial Market. And okay, you can find him if you do at TMM on Twitter, or if you do the Millennial Market on YouTube, you'll find him.
Brilliant. Cheers, Trev.
I will suggest you yourself that already knows the link. Why don't you post the link on your Twitter handle? Let everyone go click the link
I
or
will
the
do that,
name.
my
It will be
friend, as
much
soon
more
as I
easier.
have time. I'm just really wrapped up right now. But as soon as I can do that
Okay.
for you, I will absolutely do it. But in the meantime, if you don't want to wait for me, that's how you can find it.
Thanks, Trev.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks.
And Trev, by the way, no one gives a shit about your drains. So,
Nobody
yep.
gives a shit about half of the shit I do, from what I'm seeing. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, Trev.
All right.
Guys, any more questions?
Sorry.
Ziggy.
No, I'm all good, mate. I'm all
You're
good.
good.
I think Johnny covered most of the
Yeah, I think so too.
things.
Yeah,
I
beautifully.
might go and watch that little explanation that DJ Trev done. I
Yeah,
found
TMM.
I'll post it in our Twitter page as well, so people can just
Brilliant.
jump on that link. Let me just find it.
Perfect. That'd be good. And then everyone can educate themselves. I mean, it's going to be far beyond me, but yeah, I'll have a go. So, guys, any more questions before we jump off?
No, all good.
Perfect.
I think now we are perfect.
Great. Augustine, thanks ever so
This is
much
my
for all
last
your
question.
questions. They're much appreciated.
Hold on, I have one question.
I've just retweeted that in our
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just seen it. Brilliant. Thanks.
so the YouTube link's there. I might give that a watch now and see if it explains it.
I'll retweet it as well. So that's done.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone for jumping in today. Thanks, Johnny, for all the clear explanations, and Duncan as well, as always.
Cheers, Sega. Thanks, mate. Guys, thanks for joining, and it's been great to have you here. And there'll be more
All
updates
right.
coming soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you're on the Telegram. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. And
Okay.
there's more to come.
All right, guys.
And those of
That's it.
you that jumped in at the end or in the middle, listen to the beginning too, because we discussed a few things. Other than that, you can just come to the Telegram and ask us anything you like.
Yeah, there's always someone there. Okay, guys. Thanks ever so much. Take care, and we'll all speak again soon.